Okay, I'm going to make a little card tonight from a 6x6 polka dot embossed card by Dovecraft, this one, and it's going to have a little pocket insert on the inside. So because it's 6x6 square, if you take the card, open it up, and then from this outside edge, if you go in 7.5 centimetres, that'll get you roughly to the middle of that, just enough to fold over and score that. So that's giving you the score line here, which you'll then fold backwards and give it a good crease with a bone folder, like that. Okay, so once you get that folded back, you'll take a piece of paper from the Santoro 6x6 pad and put double-sided tape on all the sides of that one and stick it onto the front of that flap, just like this. So that goes on here. Now, centre that before you stick it down, and then before you have this flap folded over, you want to get the centre of this part with a circle punch and punch a piece out of it, roughly about, yeah, that's about the centre. Okay, and you just can keep that piece. So now when we've got this piece, we'll get another piece of card which will measure the same size in width, in width of the actual card itself, but you're adding on another centimetre so that we can score that down, and I'll show you then how that makes the flap. Okay, so I'm going to put that in your scorer again, just at about a centimetre across, score up there, and then you want to fold that back, and I'll show you then how that attaches. I always use the high tack tape for this because it holds it a bit more securely than the ordinary white tape, so just put that along this edge here, and because it's the high tack one, you always need to cut that rather than just pull it off with your fingers. So once you've got the high tack tape on, you'll want to take the backing off. It's easiest if you do that with a pokey tool or something like that. You can just catch the top of it, bring that off, and then that's the piece that you want to attach on here. So just make sure that those two edges are lined up really well and fold that back like so. Now that piece then will be attached here to form this pocket, so you'll need to use some more of the red tape and put it along this edge. So that would go along here this time. Snip off again. Press it down kind of firmly. It's easier to get the backing off if you do that. Catch it with the pokey tool. Bring that off and fold it back on itself. So there you are. We've now got the flap. That's inside. So now I've cut a piece of the 6x6 paper. I've just trimmed it down to 14.5 square centimetres, and again I'm going to attach that. This time the white tape's enough to hold that, and we'll just put that on the inside of the card just to decorate that. This is one with nice small roses on it, and I've picked one from the front of the same pad with the bigger roses on it to put on the front of the card. So that one, if you just hover it over until you have it centred, and then place it down. Okay, there we are. And then on the front of the card, I'm going to use the one with the bigger roses on it. Same thing again, we'll put the white tape, the double-sided tape, on there. It's a lot easier to get the backing off the white tape than it is of the red tape. Anyway, and just centre that before you press it down, and that's the basic shape of the card. Then you've got the front, the pocket, and the inside. Now on the inside I'm going to put a little piece of card where you're going to be able to write whatever you want on there. You can also put a message in here, or you can make a little bookmark. I'm going to make a bookmark for that one, so I've just cut out a piece of white card here, and it measures 8 centimetres by 10.5. And I'm going to position that double-sided tape again into the centre of the card, and that's what then you're going to write on. There we are. Right, that's us ready to do a bit of stamping. So I'm going to use one of the stamps from the Santoro 2 stamp set of sentiments. I'm going to put the For Someone Special stamp up onto the top of this, and then leave plenty of room where you can write whatever you like on the card. So I've got a black ink pad here, stamp onto the acrylic block and just tap it down so that you know it's all covered. And then place your card in front of you. Make sure you've got that straight down onto the card, and don't move it again, just tap so that you know it is all connected. And lift straight up. And there you are. Plenty of room to write whatever you like there. So we've got the flap with the pocket, the inside to write on, and the front, and now we're going to decorate the front. So I'm going to add some detail onto the front of the card with one of these dies from the same set. There's quite a few different dies in that, and I've picked out this nice one here because it's got the oval actually cuts out of the centre of it, and then I'll be able to put something else in there. So I'm going to use the white card and put some masking tape on just to hold that down in place. And another little bit, and then I'll run it through the machine. Just move it around this way. Put it in. And that's it, nicely cut out. So that oval, when it comes out, then leaves a nice part in the centre there where you can add a bit more detail. So just lift that off the card, and with the pokey tool we can take out the nice shape that we want. There it is, a few extra little pieces that you could maybe use in something else if you want, but what I'm looking for is this lovely die cut shape. You can see it there. So I've taken another piece of the stripe paper. This time this one measures 7.5 by 9.5, and I've also taken a piece of white card which is 8 by 10, and I'm going to layer one on top of the other, again with some double-sided sticky tape, and the white one is fine for this again. So there we are. Now, because I've got a bit of white showing around the outside of the card, I like to put the white on here, and then that sort of ties it all in together. So if you can see where the white edge is around the card there, and then I'm going to have the white there, and it sort of brings that together. again, just take the backing off the paper, off the tape on the paper, centre it onto this nice white, press down, and then take the tape off the back, the backing off the double-sided tape on the back of the white card, and just make sure that that's the right way up, and centre it on the card nice and straight, yep, and down it goes. So that's the piece. Now we're going to add this on top of. So just put a little bit of tacky glue, just some, doesn't need too much, just a few bits and pieces at the edges. What you don't want to do is overload it and then it comes out, spreads out all over the card and makes a bit of a mess. You really don't need too much. Just here and there and all the pieces that you reckon that need held down firmly. There we are. And then that, see the white stands out nicely on the card. It's a nice contrast on the dark paper. So what I've got now is a lovely little charm. It's one of the metal charms from the Santoro range again. There's 2 or 3 different ones in the set. There's the, and here, but I've picked this nice little shape here. And that, you could actually attach that with double-sided tape or 3D foam pads or even a glue gun, but I'm just using this tacky glue again. So I just put, this holds, I've done it before and it holds well. So you just pop that into the centre. There we are. And we can set that aside to dry. Isn't that lovely? I'll set that aside to dry for a moment or two. While that is aside, actually, you see the piece that we cut out here, which was at the top? I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there and just pop that in, holding that piece down and levelling it up. See, as best you can. This is easier said than done, but there you are. Ah, good. That's it. Okay, and just let that dry, like so. There we are. So that's the card so far. Now, so that this is all tied together and everything matches, the little lady that's on the front of the card there, there's some stickers, and these are the A5 glitter stickers from the set. And there's 2 sheets in the packet. I've already used some of them, but there's a lovely one there that actually matches this lady, and I'm going to just peel her off and pop that on here, just about there. Okay, and then use one of these nice little flower ones on here. Okay, now I'm going to make a tab, something that can be used for writing another message or something inside, and that'll pop down in here. So when the card stands up, you've actually got either a second message inside, a second message that can go inside this piece, or else a bookmark that matches the card, and that can be a nice little gift. Now I want to make a little tab that fits down inside here, and I'm going to use this little die, which is one of 6 dies in a set of first edition tag dies from Trimcraft. Nice shapes in there, and that's lovely if you just use it as a tag on its own, but as you can see, if I was just to cut that and pop it down in there, it is a bit short, and it's definitely not bookmark size. So that's the size I want to make it there, so that it fits down inside. And I'll just show you how to elongate this so you can get this shape from it. So first of all, you would measure the width of this, and it is exactly 3.6 centimeters. So I have cut a strip of white card which is exactly 3.6 centimeters, and it is also 13 13 centimetres long. Now, this is where you just need to be careful, but I'll just set this up here so you can see. If you make sure that the sides are perfectly centered, okay, and the top is actually being covered there, what you do is put some masking tape on, hold that perfectly in place, and only cut the top. So just pop that away. Perfectly covered. It's worth just taking an extra minute or two just to be sure you've got that exactly lined up, although in fairness you could actually just trim the sides of it if it's not perfect, but better just to get it right. Okay, so there we are. Alright, just press that on, because when you run that through the machine that will cut through that tape as well, so just hold it there, put the cutting plate on, and remember it's just the top part you want to cut. So you're just going to run the machine through so that it only cuts this top part, and you've still got the straight edge at the bottom. Now, to get the pattern on the bottom of the card, the pattern on the bottom of that, what you want to do this time is exactly what you did for the top, except on the bottom. Just move the pattern down, make sure the sides are perfectly lined up. Do it this way. Make sure the sides are perfectly lined up and the bottom pattern part is covered. Again, hold it firmly in place with masking tape. There. And just make sure that's straight. Your cutting plate on top, and run it through the machine. This time make sure you only cut the bottom part. And there you go. A long bookmark. So I have cut out a piece of card, and I just want a piece of patterned paper, and because this shape then is 3.5, I'm going to make that 3 centimeters, and I'm going to cut it to 10. So I'm going to put double-sided tape again on the back of this 3x10 piece of paper. And then that will go on to the centre of the little bookmark. Okay, and this time I'm going to use another one of the stickers, but it's a smaller one that's quite like the one that's on the inside of the card, and this one will fit nicely onto the bookmark. And that will go just on there. And I'm going to take a piece of the matching ribbon and just cut a length of that. And pop it through. Like so. And that's the little bookmark that's going to go on the inside of the card. So that then fits nicely down in there. And just to finish the front of the card, then I'm going to add a couple more details. So there's a lovely little set of paper bows, and these are self-adhesive, so I'm just going to take one off and pop it up here. And then take some of these paper flowers from the same set, and I think this time we'll go for pink. Just trim the backs slightly and bend that over so they don't come apart. And we'll take 3. It's always nice to have them in 3s, I think. So 1, 2, and another little pink one. Like that. And just a drop of tacky glue on the back. Plenty of it this time. And on that bottom corner. And just spread the petals out a little. Like so. And the third one. So there you are. That's the little card. The front. The inside. The bookmark. And the part where you dried. Well, I hope some of you like to make that, and maybe you'll let me see what you've done when you've finished. Thank you. Bye.